Well, Iranians, you're right. They're lining up to cast their ballots all across the country and choose who will be their next president. Among the first to cast a ballot, Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Some analysts argue that even though he holds most of the real political power, he was determined to ensure someone who would give him unwavering support would become the next president. And therefore, the list of hundreds of candidates honed down to just 8. And then 2 dropped out, so now 6 of them are in the running, and all are supporters of this man. Across the country, the voters are standing out in long lines. Newspapers are blaring election-related headlines. One of them said, "The fate of the country is dependent on participation of people in the elections," says the supreme leader, quoting Khamenei. Another headline, "1 million Kurds expected to vote in Kurdistan province." Now, there is concern that after the mass demonstrations and disappointment among young people following the 2009 vote, turnout may be less than what the government is predicting. It's predicting around 70%. Part of the problem is the reality. The field of candidates narrowed so much, and all of them conservatives.
The problem is the structural issues that exist surrounding the way the elections are run. As I mentioned, the vetting of candidates on subjective criteria, the fact that opposition leaders are in prison, the fact that Iran is today the second largest prison for journalists in the world. Many of these journalists are journalists who covered the presidential elections in 2009 and are serving various prison sentences essentially because they were doing their jobs. These are all factors that strongly suggest that unfortunately Iran is not a democracy, and the upcoming presidential elections and also the local elections that will take place simultaneously will neither be free nor fair.
That's the view of Human Rights Watch as they continue to monitor things. We're keeping a close lookout to see how many young people are really out there lining up. You see a lot of middle-aged people right now, but it's still very early. The voting began at 7 o'clock in the morning. Back to you, Natalie.
And Jim, with the slate of candidates being carefully chosen, does that mean the chance of any changes in Iran's relationship with the West are pretty much non-existent?
Well, even before the votes are counted, I've got to say that it is Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader, that has jurisdiction when it comes to international affairs, Iran's relations with the rest of the world. The president is seen as more involved with the local economy, if you will, of the country, trying to get things up and running. They have punishing unemployment and underemployment, especially among young people. These are things that a lot of people are turning out their ballots, hoping to vote for someone that can fix what they see as Iran's #1 problem right now. But it's not unrelated to those sanctions, and so you're right. There has to be change in more than one area if anyone is going to be able to solve that problem.